Hello and welcome into this week's edition of The Pole Position right here on Racing News Now. As always, I'm your host Garth Allen. Thank you once again for joining me today. If this is your first time catching a Racing News Now video, consider going down below and hitting that subscribe button and ringing the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward from Racing News Now. This is a channel where we discuss lots of motorsports, namely NASCAR, ARCA, IndyCar, and Formula One. We do plan to broaden that scope eventually, but for now, that's what we cover. And on today's edition of The Pole Position, we have all of that for you. We got 2 NASCAR races, an Xfinity race, and a Monster Energy NASCAR Cup race from Daytona, ARCA from Iowa, IndyCar from Iowa, and a Formula One from Silverstone. So let's get right into it and catch you up on what happened this weekend. We'll start off with the NASCAR Xfinity Series. That was the first race of the weekend on Friday night. The Coca-Cola Firecracker 250 from the Daytona International Speedway, 105 laps in this race. An exciting finish. Lots of controversy over this finish. If you want to know the details on that, if you somehow missed what transpired on the last lap in the Xfinity race, you want to go check out our rewind show of the Firecracker 250 as we go a lot more in depth there. But officially on the results, Kyle Larson is your winner of this race by 5 thousandths of a second over Elliott Sadler. Christopher Bell, Ryan Blaney, and Kaz Gralla were the rest of your top 5. Also, great runs in the top 10 for Shane Lee in 6th, Timmy Hill in 7th, and Ross Chastain in the 10th position. All right, so we'll move to the other Daytona race from the weekend, as this is the weekend following July 4th. So as always, we have our July Daytona activities, and this year is no different with Coke Zero Sugar 400. I'm still not used to throwing sugar on the name yet. I'm just used to it being the Coke Zero 400, but now it's the Coke Zero Sugar 400. Doesn't quite roll off the tongue as easy. Gotta get used to that one. Eric Jones picks up his first career victory after 2 overtimes in a very, very, very wild Coke Zero Sugar 400. This is another one, if you missed it, if you missed what happened somehow, you want to go back and check out our rewind show for this one. Very, very crazy race. Martin Truex Jr. comes home in the 2nd position with A.J. Allmendinger, Casey Kane, and Chris Buescher, the rest of the top 5. Also, great finishes on the night for Ty Dillon in 6th and Matt DiBenedetto in 7th. Also, your Daytona 500 champion Austin Dillon comes home in the 9th position despite getting caught up in at least 1 wreck on the night. He might have been involved in 2. Either way, still gets a top 10, so a great result for Austin Dillon on the night. All right, so we'll shift gears now to the Iowa Speedway, as that's where we saw ARCA and IndyCar action for the weekend. We'll start off with Saturday night's ARCA action with the Fans with Benefits 150. Sheldon Creed picks up his 3rd career victory and 3rd of the season in this one. Continues to extend his points lead. Had a really tough run from Chandler Smith there at the end. We almost were talking about a 2nd Chandler Smith victory, but it was not to be. If he'd had a few more laps, we might actually be talking about a Chandler Smith win. But no, we are talking about a Sheldon Creed win. Rest of your top 5, Sheldon's MDM teammates Chase Purdy in 3rd and Zane Smith in 4th, and another top 5 finish for Joe Graf Jr. Other notable finishes down here, Harrison Burton returns in the 12 car this week and gets a solid 6th place finish. Mason Mitchell, your 2014 ARCA Racing Series champion, makes his return to the series in his cell phone number 98 car for Mason Mitchell Motorsports and posts a respectable 7th place finish. Brett Holmes returned to action this week after sitting out in Chicagoland, but instead of in his normal 23 car, he was in the Ken Schrader Racing number 52 car this week and came home with an 8th place finish. And Sam Meyer made his first career start this week, 15-year-old Sam Meyer. They're in the 10th position in the 40 car, the 5th entry for MDM Motorsports this week. All right, so let's move on now to Sunday and all of the open wheel action. It was open wheel Sunday as there was no stock car action this week on Sunday. It was all open wheel. And we will start, we're already in Iowa, so we'll stay in Iowa for the IndyCar series. That was Sunday afternoon, the Iowa Corn 300. James Hinchcliffe snaps his winless streak, and it picks up the win for Schmidt-Peterson Motorsports. Some interesting finishers down here below him. Spencer Pigot comes home in second, Takuma Sato in third, and Joseph Newgarden and Robert Wickens round out the top 5. Ed Carpenter posting a strong top 10 finish there in the 10th position, as well as championship contender Alexander Rossi there in 9th. It's not on the graphic, but if you're following the championship, you'll want to know where your top guys in points finished. Scott Dixon came home in the 12th position. Ryan Hunter-Reay is down there in 19th. And that looks to be it for championship contenders outside of the top 10. So that's your results from the Iowa Corn 300. We have one race left for the weekend, and that was Sunday morning's Rolex British Grand Prix from the Silverstone circuit in beautiful Great Britain. Sebastian Vettel picks up yet another win on the season in this 52-lapper. Lewis Hamilton and Vettel's teammate Kimi Räikkönen also on the podium in this race. The other Mercedes, Valtteri Bottas, comes home in the 4th position, and Daniel Ricciardo, carrying the flag for Red Bull this week, comes home in the 5th position. If you are a Red Bull fan and wondering where Max Verstappen is, as he is not on this list, he DNF'd with 6 laps to go and finished in the 15th position. So not a good day for Max Verstappen. Yet another race of bad luck for him, even after it seemed like he had shaken the bad luck last week and when he picked up that victory last week. So apparently Max Verstappen just can't seem to completely shake the bad luck just yet. So I believe that will do it for us tonight here on the pole position. If you haven't done it already and you want to see more in-depth recaps of either the ARCA race, the Xfinity race, or the Monster Energy NASCAR Cup Series race, you'll want to go check out our rewind shows for those on the week. We'll have those linked down in the description for you, so it's easy for you to find. And if you haven't done it already, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss a thing going forward. We might have a surprise or two going up later tonight as well. They might have already gone up by the time this goes live. I'm not 100% sure because I'm not 100% sure on timing for those yet. But there might be a couple surprises going up tonight as well, so you want to keep an eye out for those. If they're not already out, you want to make sure you hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you do know when they're out. And also hit that big thumbs up button if you like the video. It is much appreciated when you do. So with that, this has been the pole position where you always start on the front row. I'm Garth Allen for Racing News Now.